Janey and Dennis. The story goes on. We ended up, getting signed to Warner Brothers, and we were, just, two young kids, and with a record deal that were basically dropouts from high school, and Warner Brothers flew us out to San Francisco to do a record with a guy named Jerry Corbett, who used to be in the Youngbloods. And I don't know if you remember the Youngbloods, but they were a pretty big group back then. They did, come on, people, smile on your brother. Everybody get together. I'm sure everybody knows that song. It's one of the greatest. Anyway, that was their big hit record. And Jerry Corbett was a guitar player out of that band, and he was a producer. And he produced Don McLean, who did, Bye Bye Miss American Pie. I was like kind of hot guy at the time. And anyway, Warner Brothers flies us out to San Francisco. And we had never been anywhere. Okay, we were two kids that were just stoned out of our minds in New York, right? Never been outside of Queens and Manhattan. That was it. Brooklyn, maybe, whatever. But so we get on a plane to go out to Inverness, to San Francisco, and Warner Brothers rents us a house in Inverness, which is outside of San Francisco. But anyway, we got on the plane. And we fly out to San Francisco. We get off the plane and we get on a helicopter to go to Oakland, where Jerry Corbett then is going to pick us up. So never being anywhere but New York City, which is a pretty hip place to grow up in and, been exposed to a lot of things, but still we've never been anywhere. So we get on this helicopter and it's at night and there's no light in the helicopter. It's like dark. And we just fly over the city of San Francisco at night and see all the lights. And we were just like, wow, man, wow. That's what we did. We were always stoned. We were going, wow, everything. But anyway, so, we were just so like tripped out, because here we are signed to Warner Brothers and we're doing a record. And Jerry Corbett picks us up at the helicopter, wherever we stopped at the helicopter, dropped off at the helicopter, get in his car and go out to this town, Inverness. Now, Inverness is like a Woodstock kind of place, an hour and a half out of San Francisco north. And it's a very hippy-dippy little artsy town. And it was a beautiful place. And Warner Brothers rented us a house. We had our own house. And everybody lived on this mountain. It was like beautiful. And all the guys from the Youngbloods, the Grateful Dead. I remember the Grateful Dead had this road manager called Earthquake. And he was this big guy. He looked like an earthquake. Anyway, that's some of my memories of him. He was a real nice guy. And, they had a little record store and they had a little, like, health food store. And, everybody was into health foods and baking bread and blah, blah, blah. And we would drive into Oakland to the studio and record with a bunch of really great San Francisco guys. And we did our record. And so that was really a great experience. Now, Dennis and I, we had this arrangement at this point. We were like, we were friends, co-writers, and we slept together, but we had an agreement that we weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't know why. We both agreed on that, and that's the way we wanted it. Now, I kind of thought Dennis was cute, and I kind of wanted him to be my boyfriend, but he was like, so, he was, I knew that he was trouble, so, I kept it cool, and I wanted to keep the act together. But as it turns out, we finished the record, and then we went back to New York, and it was a September release, and it was now the beginning of the summer. So Dennis went with his mom to Italy. He was Italian. His mother made the greatest Italian food in the world. Oh, my God. Northern Italian. Oh, my God. Anyway, she's legendary with a lot of people in the music business because we all went to Dennis's house to eat and 15-course Italian meals. Anyway, she took Dennis to Italy. And I went back to San Francisco to be with this guy who was the banjo player on the record. And he was like 35 years old at the time. I'm 18. He was really like kind of old. But he had this school bus. And the plan was for me to hang out with him for the summer because he liked me. And, I was supposed to like him, but I really didn't. I mean, I liked him as a person. He was a great guy, but he was like old. Like, I can't believe now. Like, I thought 35-year-old guy was old. But anyway, he was into me or whatever. And so we hung out. And he had this school bus, and it was one of the little school buses, and he had like a bed, and he lived in his school bus. It was very, very, fixed up very practically with a refrigerator and a bed, and everything was put in the right place so that it was very comfortable and very organized. And we drove up the coast all the way on Route 1 through, Eugene, Route 1 to to Seattle, where they were having this big guitar seminar with Jerry Corbett and Jesse Colin Young, and, they were having a seminar, and that's what we would, and Peter was a great banjo player, the guy, 35-year-old guy that I was with. So anyway, we drove up there, and that was really, really great. And Dennis and I actually, before that summer, we came back and we dropped out of school. I'm not dropped out of school, but we were in this professional school. So we actually graduated from Quintanos, and we got to play at Tavern on the Green because we were the big rock stars of school. And they had the graduation on Tavern on the Green in Central Park, which is a famous place. I'm sure you've all heard of it. And we played there. And then, of course, I went up the coast with Peter, and Dennis went to Italy, and then Dennis came back, and I came back, and we continued on, and we started to go on the road. So that'll be the next episode.